Most people are afraid of getting old, even me. And then I met a 90-year-old lady who wasn't. The conversation that we had stayed with me for weeks, and today I am going to be sharing that conversation. Now, this happened way before I became a nurse. I was working as a home health aide in an assisted living building, and my first patient ever that I was assigned to died after a couple of weeks. And I was distraught. I had come to care for him. I loved taking care of him, and I wasn't happy. I left in the evening, he was fine. I came back the next day, he was gone. That was my first exposure to aging and death. And I remember calling my agency and I said to them, hey, my patient died, and I don't know what to do. And they were like, well, they walked me through the process and everything, and then assigned me to another patient that I had to take care of. Well, after a few months, this other patient died, and now I was even more distraught. And I called the agency and I said, you guys don't like me. You are looking for patients that are very sick, or patients who are about to die, and you're giving those patients to me. So silly, so silly. But then I didn't know what I know now. And they said, no, Belinda, no, that's not the way it is. The truth of the matter is, the people that you're taking care of are an older population. They're at the end of their lifespan, and it's okay for them to move on. But I didn't like that. That didn't sit down well with me. So then I got assigned to this 90-year-old lady who was not afraid of dying. So she was my third patient. So when I met this lady for the first time, one thing struck me. She was always happy, always in a good mood. It didn't matter what time of the day I walked in, if it was a day shift or a night shift, she was about to go to bed or she just woke up. She was always in a good mood. I was not used to that. My previous patients were like sad, sometimes they would talk about their regrets, sometimes they would be quiet. Not this one. This one was full of life at the age of 90, and I just kept watching her, and I would escort her to dinner, escort her back from dinner, watch her eat and all of, and I said, I don't get it. She's different. Now, don't get me wrong. She had her challenges. She was in a wheelchair, so I had to assist her move in the wheelchair. That's why I was with her. And she had some other health challenges that I don't want to share here on social media. And that, I felt, was enough for her to be sad. But nope, that did not kill her spirit. So one day, I mustered up the courage to ask her. And I said to her, why are you always in a good mood? Please, I want to know. Are you willing to share with me? And to my surprise, she's like, oh yeah, I'll tell you all about. Come sit down, let's have tea, we'll talk. And she says, honey, I have lived a full life. And I said, okay, well, can you tell me more about what you mean when you say you've lived a full life? And she said, I have had a full life. I have lived, I have loved, I have experienced life in every way life is meant to be experienced, and I have made peace with things that I was not able to control, and I moved on. And I was like, that's different in a good way. And I said, I need more. Like, I need to know more. I need more details. And so she said, she had 5 children. She was a grandmother. She took so much joy in being a grandmother. She had a husband. She had a healthy, good marriage. Although he had passed on way before her, she said she was happy with the life she lived with her husband. The funny thing is, she did not mention a career. She didn't mention a career. That was the one thing I noticed. She talked about she ate healthy, she stayed active, she stayed fit, and then she had suffered a stroke later on in her later years, and that's what put her in the wheelchair. Okay, so you will think somebody who did everything, in my opinion, right, ate healthy, stayed positive, did all the right things, suffered a stroke, and put her in a wheelchair, and she still is happy about her life as it is. She still finds joy in everyday little things. She finds joy in things that you and I would just take for granted. And that thought stayed with me for weeks. I thought about her, and of course I had more chances to be with her because I worked with her for quite a while before I had to leave and move on because the work and my classes began to clash, so I had to stop working there. But I thought about that lady for a long time. I thought about her life, her attitude towards things, and I said, even though she didn't mention a career, maybe I should have asked her if she had one. She did not seem bothered. The things that mattered to her were the things she chased: her children, happiness, healthy lifestyle. Those were the things that she cared about. And I said to myself, what have you learned from being with this lady? What have you learned? Is there something that you can take away from working with her? Can you take something away from all of this? And the only thing I can say is we have to try to find joy in little moments, in everyday life. We cannot wait for a certain thing to happen, to achieve a certain goal, to get to a certain milestone. We have to try and find joy in everyday life. We can't wait for a certain milestone, wait for a goal, wait for something to work out. No, we're not guaranteed tomorrow. Here and now, every day, find one thing to be grateful for. It could always be worse, but it's not. And I said, if I can find one thing to be grateful for every day of my life, I am sure that I would be on the road to aging gracefully without so much fear of the unknown. Oh, I'm gonna get old, I won't be able to walk around. All this fear. What if I die tomorrow? Shoot, then I've spent all this time being afraid of something that didn't even get to happen. So what I'm saying is, I want to be like her. I want to be happy. I don't want to be afraid of getting old. I want to get to my old age, my 90s, my 80s, and say just like she said, I have lived a full life, and I have moved on from things that I have no control over. That's a very, very tough thing to do, like mentally, because humans, we kind of like to gravitate towards sad stories and sad stuff. Like, it's easy to find people who are going to be sad with you, and misery loves company. And so that is what I am going to try to do. This is a lot of mental energy. You have to focus on it. Make a mental effort every day. Find one thing to be grateful for. And remember to incorporate healthy lifestyle, daily walks, monitor your blood pressure, healthy living, and taking joy in little moments. Even if it's just going for a walk outside. And doing this, hopefully, will help us navigate this road that's taking all of us to old age, whether we like it or not. I would like to end this video by asking the question, what do you hope to be able to say by the age of 90? Well, we've come to the end of today's video. If you have found this video useful or helpful in any kind of way, please subscribe. It will help my channel grow, and I will keep on sharing more videos. Bye.